Hello, hello. Today we have the second episode of our 𝐧𝐞𝐭 on air today with Matej Lancaric. Let me intro here. So actually, all of you already know, so we don't need intro. So he's the guy from 2.5 Gamers, which is the More People, More Common, No Bullshit podcast. So we will be diving headfirst into Matej's life, not only gaming UA, but also his literally own life. So ahoy, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. This is a nice change of me being on the other side of the barricade. So I don't need to host it. It's good. Love it. Thank you.
Now we ask the questions here.
Yes, exactly. So now it's the fun starts. Good. Thank you.
So actually, the questions are totally from what we are curious about. So first question is, why do you have this big love for unicorn? You have it everywhere. Why?
I don't think it was on purpose. When I had this idea for a newsletter in my mind for years, I wanted to build like few segments or sections into the newsletter, and then I was thinking about what's the most absurd thing that you can imagine, and then I wanted to name that section after this. So I was like, okay, wait a second. Unicorns, okay. What about dancing unicorns? You don't see that often. Oh, well, let's try that. And then I started kind of playing around with Midjourney, because if you remember first 6, I won't say episodes, but issues of the newsletter, it was basically a meme picture of me as a thumbnail. But then I started doing this Midjourney experimentation. Like, oh, wait a second, let's actually try the unicorns, right? Oh my God, how well it went. It was really good. So I stick with that since I think issue number 6 or 7, and it's definitely not going anywhere. I love it. Of course, unicorns. Who doesn't love unicorns?
That's true.
That's guaranteed. And actually, I feel like you already have the next 100 cover images of the newsletter, right?
Yeah, it's always about the mood I am in, and also about what I talk in the Diary of a Dancing Unicorn. Because all of those stories, they actually happened to me, so it's all real life. Sometimes it's quite sad, but it's the truth. And then I kind of dedicated, I think, 1 or 2 hours to write the newsletter on Sunday evening, or during the Monday, just before it actually comes out. And either I have already few images, or I just do it last minute. So you never know. Depends.
That's really cool. Actually, I really love how you connect it to real life. And actually,
thank you.
It's really connected to my second question, especially in person, but also over your even newsletter. Sometimes you mention about how much the family means to you, and of course it's so heartwarming. So I would actually like to hear about your, not just how much you love, but also work family balance. So curious about your thoughts.
Yeah, look, so I'm recording the podcast from my daughter's room, so they're also it's the bed and sheets and everything, and obviously my table, so it's room versus office. So I actually work in her room. So that's the part of the daily routine. But honestly, look, it's what's the most important part? Family, that's nothing else. So I could just spend time working, and then after 10, 15 years say, oh, look, so I finished work. Now let's actually spend more time together. But in 15 years, she wouldn't even care about who the fuck are you? Why do you want to spend time with me? I'm 15. I don't care. And they grow so fast, so I want to spend and enjoy the times with family, with my daughter. That's the main thing. What's the other purpose of life, right? So you can change works and companies. You can just build startups, whatever else. But family is just it's the only one, and I want to enjoy the most of my time with them. It's very simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is the highest priority.
Well, let's talk about 2.5 Gamers a little. So we want to know the funniest or more unexpected moment while recording 2.5 Gamers podcast? Do you remember?
I think it's very early on when we started recording first episode. The first episode of our podcast is not even on the YouTube because it's so fucking bad. It's terrible. But I remember the moments when Felix was really nervous. So he wrote the whole script. We tried first, and I mean, we were all terrible. 𝐬𝐭 had his glasses on. It was more a comedy rather than a podcast, but still. And I don't really know how we ended up in here because I was watching the first few episodes and it was really bad. So thank you very much to everybody who actually stayed with us. But yeah, that was quite actually, that was even funnier moment when I was rewatching those episodes and I felt really bad. But no, honestly, yeah, us all three together, just shitting at each other, making fun, but at the same time, talking about really interesting and useful stuff for the industry was definitely very, very funny.
Watching the podcast right now and everyone's just so chill and doing whatever they want.
Now it's way different. It's way different. We came a long way because the preparations for those episodes, at least in the first, let's say 50 or 100, it was a lot of hours. And now we can, we call each other hey, can you record in 2 hours? Yeah, let's do it. If it's not a game, obviously, if it's a game, then we need some time to play. At least 𝐬𝐭 needs some time to play. I mean, I play as well, but depends. If it's 4X, I don't really like that much. But if it's a casual game or anything related to puzzles, then I definitely like to play. So yeah, now the preparation time is way shorter, and we already know what to do and how to interact with each other. So yeah, it's kind of it's way more chill.
What about if you could have anyone in the world on the podcast? Who would be the top 3 guests on the podcast?
I don't like to categorize it like this, honestly, because if in this moment, we can get pretty much a lot of people from the industry on the podcast. It's about how much value they can get. We wanted to have a lot of people that their games we actually review, but they could come, but they couldn't share anything. So we said, fuck this. It doesn't make sense. So honestly, I would like to have anyone from a company that they can share numbers, and I don't care if it's top 1, top 2. Anyone who can share the numbers, because that's interesting and important for the industry. No names, unfortunately, because I don't have that list, but anyone who can share valuable insights and numbers.
Of course, when we talk about no bullshit and real data, that makes sense.
Yeah, it needs to be like that. It's unfortunately we also we get a lot of messages about sponsors and whatever else. And we usually say no because it's not really in line with, I don't want to call it values, but how we do stuff. It's just if someone comes in and say, you can't tell anything about our competition, that's exactly the opposite of no bullshit. So unfortunately, we say no.
Yeah, but that's the quality, right? If you say yes to everyone, then where's the quality?
Yeah, exactly.
If you could be remembered for one major thing in the industry, how or what would you want it to be? Would you keep it as no bullshit guy or the UA wizard? Just curious about your feelings.
It's the no bullshit, and that's why the newsletter is called Brutally Honest, because there is no other way. You need to be very honest and very transparent, which sometimes I feel like the industry really lacks, and there's so much bullshit around, and you can see it on different conferences where people just stand on the stage and don't say anything. I mean, come on, you could not be here and it would be fine because you say, hello, this is my name, this is what we do, thank you very much. But where's the value? So that's why I think the no bullshit policy and brutal honesty is something that I want to be remembered for. Looks like it's working.
That's the side that we are heading as well. So
yes,
good to be here together.
I know. That's why we're talking about it, which is good.
So You mentioned about conference event side. Actually, next question is, from your perspective, most memorable or funniest moments from a conference you attended?
I think it was either last year PGC or the PGC before in London, where I think the official party ended. It was Monday, I think 11 p.m. And we started thinking about where to go next. And I was like, let's go here to the next bar, which is called Floripa. And suddenly, after the official after party, there was unofficial after party, which was led by me and the other guys that went there. So instead of like 10 people, we ended up like 100 or 120 people in the bar. And it was insane. Everybody had absolutely amazing time until 4 a.m. So like that's exactly how it should be.
That's cool stuff. That's the real main party, actually.
Yes.
We are curious about your starting point. I think everyone is curious about your starting point. So, how did you first start your career and how do you maintain your career?
Ooh. Well, I ended up in gaming industry. I can't say coincidence because I don't believe coincidence happen. When I was younger, I was playing Counter-Strike as I guess everybody. And I was playing it semi-professionally with some of the guys here in Slovakia. And then after 5 years, just my old teammate became actually a CMO of Pixel Federation. He called like, hey, we are looking for a UA person. Do you want to come for a coffee? Sure. Why not? So I ended up in their office drinking coffee with my future boss, and I didn't even know about it. And then suddenly it's like, hey, you know what? Like, if you want, then you should definitely join us. But like, yeah, absolutely yes. I love games. I love marketing. So it sounds like a good fit. Never left. That was 11 years ago. And
then the long story came out.
I love games, and I like the mobile marketing and the UA and everything in combination with games just makes me happy. So
we always talk about the industry, games, UA, etc. But like what I'm curious about is, before everything, if we exclude all these three, what is something about you like people don't know and just leave all of them out, and who are you?
I'm a simple man. Come on. I like sports. I like fun and comedy, and I like tattoos as well. I do enjoy running and just basically anything related to sports. I played football before when I was younger. I'm old enough to play now.
No.
I know, of course not. I still can, but I don't have anyone else here in Bratislava who I can play with. That's the problem. But yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly. I like my family, so I like to spend time when and where it makes the most sense, and it's actually valuable for me. So look, I would rather say no to a company that I can work with, which doesn't make sense, and spend the time with the family, or just do anything else, which is more valuable for me.
Love it. That's
Nice.
Really cool. And actually, for the profession side, if you weren't in the gaming UA side, do you have any profession you have in mind? Just like maybe you would say, I actually was in love with football, or something like that.
I was, but my father was a professional footballer, so I guess I could see myself doing that, but I was too lazy when I was younger to actually make it a little bit worth it more than it was. I really enjoyed it, but I was like, I don't think this is it. I can play, but still. I was actually thinking about being a lawyer before, or a programmer, but then I was like, fuck this, I really need to learn all of these laws and everything. I don't think that's good for me. So I was kind of trying to find like what would I do, and marketing was basically the choice that I really liked. If I wasn't working at games, I would be definitely working in some other agency with like any other brands, but it would be definitely marketing.
You were born for this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the thing. I don't really like to have any plan Bs, because then it kind of forces you to rely on some others, like, oh, well, if this doesn't work well, then I will do something else. Well, no, this is going to work well, period.
How about the story of a solopreneur?
Well, look, I worked with different companies before, and I think I kind of do better job now when I work as a single person, or let's call it solopreneur. I still like to work with people, but I like to work with campaigns more. It's kind of, I don't want to say I don't like people, but I do. But when I don't need to talk like on 5 calls a day and be there, that's way better. So I don't want to start an agency because I don't think that's exactly what I want to do. And I love it because of the freedom. I can do whatever from wherever. Obviously, it's way harder because I still need to find the companies to work with, but it's absolutely worth everything. So I would say people should try at least, because it gives you a different perspective of work, life, everything, because it's hard. Don't get me wrong, it's hard. It's really hard, but it's also very fun, rewarding, and flexible, and you can do whatever you want. If you want to say no, yeah, you can say no. If you want to say yes to 10 companies and then burn out, well, you can do it. I mean, it's not really a good thing to do, but you still can do it. So yeah, I would still advise a lot of people just to try this. It's obviously not for everyone. But it's a very good experience.
I think, as you mentioned, probably many more people will try consulting path.
Yes, of course. Like now, everybody is a consultant these days. It's gonna be quite hard for companies to actually hire internally. It looks like it's gonna be a problem, because people see, of course, there is a quite an interesting upside, obviously, because you can earn more money while work with different companies and more companies at the same time. But there's also the other part of the coin, that if you don't have those companies, then you have zero, which people don't realize.
Well, you talked about the sexiest creatives, and how is it now?
It doesn't really change, unfortunately.
Really?
The sexiest creatives are just, it's a cancer of the industry, and unfortunately, as soon as people will click and download through those ads, it's not gonna go anywhere. I don't see any platform policing this that well at all. They don't do anything, because people just make money, and they make money on top of it. Unfortunately, I mean, we still need to raise awareness and do everything we can to say like it's bad and it's terrible, but unless companies stop using those ads, it's just a long battle to move anywhere.
Yeah. What is the biggest mistake you see in UA campaigns these days, and what makes you cringe the most?
I think, well, except the sexist ads and the freezing families in creatives, I think the biggest issue is, or the problem, not even in the campaigns themselves, but in the UA managers. Like, they don't really play games that they manage campaigns for. That's the biggest problem. I mean, how can you even understand like who you are targeting when you don't play the game? It's obviously it's time consuming, but it's the part of the job. You really need to play the game. And people don't do it.
Yeah.
They just don't.
Yeah, and also some companies that looking for like UA partners and stuff, they just say like you should just know the game, but don't really get into it, because like they think it's not your job, but it's actually your job to.
It is. It is. Of course, it is. Of course, if you work with 20 companies and you play 20 games, then you either spend a lot of time on the toilet, or you don't really have time to actually do the work. So it's double-edged sword, obviously, but you still need to know at least what's happening in the game, and because that can help you in the creative process, in the targeting, in basically everything.
That's definitely very clear. So I'm here with time traveling question. So.
Ooh.
Looking back in this 11 years journey for you, and even before, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give to younger Matej? Like just, starting out with maybe bachelor, or maybe just graduated,
I wouldn't say anything. Also, it's a terrible question, over, because the time traveling to see younger yourself and giving the advice, you will change the future of that person. And I'm very, very glad to be where I am at the moment. So I wouldn't change a single fucking thing. Because if I say something, that will completely change the path. I think every mistakes and everything that I've done before led me here, and I'm very happy to be where I am. So I would say, I wouldn't say anything because even me showing up would interfere. I would just watch from the far, like, you will do good. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Just keep going.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep going, because the consistency is that's the biggest advantage, or like that's the main kind of point of success. Because if you have the consistency, then you can get pretty far.
Yeah, I think it's not just for yourself, but also I think even for everyone. Sometimes we should just be able to say that, keep going, you will be good. So that's a good perspective.
Sometimes it's quite hard when you do new stuff and you don't know if what you do is good or bad, or if it can lead somewhere. But I think everything happens for a reason. So that's pretty much it. Even if you fail, yeah, well, you should. That's a very good learning experience.
All right. So now we're going to the gaming part.
First one is named as speed rounds, quick fire questions, as you allow it.
I know.
Starting with working from home or working in an office?
Home, absolutely.
Working solo or working with a theme?
Solo.
Early morning hustling or late night guy?
Changes from time to time. Right now it's early morning hustling, but it was late time guy in the past.
In-app purchase or add-on games?
In-app purchase. Felix, no way.
Facebook or TikTok ads?
Facebook.
Google or AppLovin ads?
AppLovin.
Casual or hybrid casual games?
Casual.
Playables or rewarded videos?
Absolutely.
High CPI but high LTV or low CPI, low LTV?
High CPI, high LTV. You can't even ask this question. Come on, man.
Just checked on you.
I know.
AI creatives or human-made ones?
AI.
Then Midjourney or Clink AI?
It's different tools, man, but Clink.
How about ChatGPT or DeepSeek?
ChatGPT, I worked with that first.
And the top question, hosting a podcast or being a guest?
Hosting a podcast.
There you go.
10 out of 10.
So the next part is, I'll just give you some game names and you'll pick one and we'll pick the winner game for you. Okay, so Color Block Jam or Block Blast?
Color Block.
Okay, Color Block Jam or Match Factory?
Color Block Jam.
Color Block Jam or Arch Road 2?
Color Block Jam.
Okay, Color Block Jam or Capybara Go?
Color Block Jam still.
Brawl Stars or Color Block Jam?
Still Color Block Jam.
Royal Match?
Color Block Jam. If you said Royal Kingdom, maybe I would hesitate.
I will now ask
Okay.
Kingdom, okay. Color Block Jam or Royal Kingdom?
Royal Kingdom, I would say.
Royal Kingdom or Monopoly Go?
Royal Kingdom.
Royal Kingdom or Solitaire Grand Harvest?
Royal Kingdom.
Royal Kingdom or Travel Town?
Royal Kingdom.
Okay, Royal Kingdom or Whiteout Survival?
Royal Kingdom, come on. I like Whiteout Survival, but come on, Forex, no.
Royal Kingdom or Gardenscapes?
Now I'm the Royal Kingdom.
Okay. Royal Kingdom or Candy Crush?
Royal Kingdom.
Royal Kingdom or Coin Master?
Royal Kingdom.
Royal
Easy.
Kingdom or Clash of Clans?
Royal Kingdom.
Okay, Royal Kingdom wins
Yes.
for the winner game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I would say it's. I'm more on the casual side of things, really. I don't know why, but my brain just turns off immediately, and it's great. I don't really need to think, and I just play, and it's amazing. Although Royal Kingdom was really hard from the beginning, so I actually needed to turn on the brain, and then when I knew what I need to do, I just now I can turn off.
Yeah. It's crazy because Jakub chose Whiteout Survival, and you just like passed right away.
Yes, like we complement each other with Felix as well. I think the group and the vibe and everything, it's really, really, really strong, and I love it. I wouldn't change.
Do you have any game over Royal Kingdom?
I play a lot of stuff, and I think the Royal Kingdom I played quite a lot, and I still do from time to time. But now I played a lot of Block Blast on the plane from Maldives. But it's, yeah, I would say Royal Kingdom these days, it's quite wins.
So it's been already a half an hour, and
Hey, nice.
big pleasure.
Thank you.
Like, I think we are not sure about the third one upcoming, but it will be fun if we like make the Felix next.
That would be interesting.
Why not? It's also really cool for people to start covering with you. So yeah, I'm really bad at finalizing podcasts. Maybe you should do it for me since you already experienced.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. This was me, Matej Lancaric, on the 𝐧𝐞𝐭 podcast. So thank you. You should share the episode with your industry friends, obviously, after listening. Comment and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.